Take a deep breath. That's what I tell myself. I tell myself to keep us hanging by the thread.
Hi there! I'm really excited to be filming this video. I'm not in my normal setup because I'm back for the holidays right now. I'm actually filming with my mom's iPhone 6 Plus, so I'm really excited because the quality and sound is just going to be so much better. So yeah. As some of you may know, I hiked the West Coast Trail back last May, I believe. And I'm actually doing it again this upcoming spring. And people really seem to be interested in my preparation videos for that. But I realized the other day I never did a follow-up video or told you any stories of what happened. So that's what I'm here today to do. So if you're interested in hiking the West Coast Trail yourself or just general outdoorsy camping excitement stories, keep watching. So as I said, I hiked the trail back in last May, I believe, and I would really recommend the shoulder season, like spring or fall. Just definitely not the summer because it's so hot and dry. It's just a bad idea. Like, it was still pretty cold in May, cold enough where it's like I would wake up freezing, but honestly 10 minutes into my hike I am like just in my light tank top. You just start sweating right away, even if you don't think you're going to. If you don't know anything about the West Coast Trail, the West Coast Trail is an 85-kilometer, I believe, trail that goes from Pachena Bay, like Bamfield, down to Port Renfrew, all along the west coast, like southern west coast side of Vancouver Island. So it's beautiful temperate rainforest with like the open Pacific Ocean hitting the shores. It's really nice, and there's campsites along the whole thing. People typically hike it in 5 to 7 days, and I believe we hiked it in 5 days. Actually, right after us, this dude ran it in 2 days. I'm like, that's crazy. I think the amount of time we took was perfect. Next time I would probably do 6 days, maybe even 7, just so we can relax a bit more and just take in all the beauty. Oh, it was so amazing. And horrible at the same time. Like, I want you to know that. The whole time we were just like, okay, this many kilometers left, this many days left, and like looking forward to the end, but also as soon as it got to the end, we just wanted to like stay or do the Juan de Fuca Trail. It's bittersweet. It was bittersweet. I just want to quickly tell you what I did clothing-wise because it was like the perfect setup, just a few things. So I brought a big hoodie, which I wore at night when it got cold and we weren't walking anymore, and I also wrapped up and used as my pillow, and then when I woke up I could just put it on and be warm while I was like packing up all my stuff, and then I'd take it off and put it away again before we went hiking. Over that, at night, I would also wear my just like really light windbreaker to, again, keep me warm, and I would probably start off my mornings with it and then take it off pretty quickly and just wrap it around my waist. So that was just a great setup, and I would really recommend doing that instead of bringing a pillow. Starting from the first night, I went with 4 other people. They were so great. Did I go with 4 people? No, I went with 5 other people. 2 couples and then a single girl, and we tented together, and it was so great. It was a great time. Great people. Hey, because I know you're watching this. So we went from north to south, which, I mean, I would recommend, but I haven't done the other way, so I liked it. But so we started off in Pachena Bay, and that first night, my tent mate, I will not expose names, her stove wasn't working. I don't really remember exactly what happened, but I'm pretty sure her stove wasn't working, or she didn't have the right propane or something, so we were down 1 stove, and like that was our stove. And then she went to use the other couple's stove to like cook some food or whatever. And I don't know what she did. She like lit it or something, and it was not tied on right. It was just like doing a weird thing, and it was like spraying, so she threw it in the fire pit and we all like ran back, and then it exploded. So that stove and propane thing was destroyed. And so then we were down to 1 stove for everyone for the whole rest of the trip. So that was fun. That was a good way to start it off. When we woke up the next day, it just like started off right away with the ladder. And when I got to the top, I was like, I'm not joking, I'm going to need to get helicoptered out of here. There's just no way I'm going to be able to do this. And I held that probably for the first 2 days before I got adjusted. And honestly, every day we would see like 2 or 3 emergency evacuation helicopters driving by overhead. Also, within like the first 30 meters, I would say, of our hike, we came across both bear scat and cougar scat, so it was kind of scary, especially with the cougars, because like, yeah, the bears will avoid you, but the cougars will stalk you and you won't know. Go in a group. I would say 2 people is too few. Even 3 is probably too few. Like, I would say 4 and more is optimal. Seriously. I was actually also the only person who brought bear spray out of our group, and although we didn't have to use it, I am so glad I brought it. So glad I brought it. Another safety tip is never go pee alone, but actually, oh, this is bad because I guess we were so dehydrated, but none of us peed while we were walking in the day. We just peed in the morning before we left at our campsite, and then at night when we got to our new campsite. Another thing I would really recommend is for your water purification is just the 2-drop set from Mountain Co-op, or really anywhere, but it's just like you do like 2 drops, I think, into the cap, and then you wait for 5 minutes, then you pour it into your water and wait for like 10 minutes or something, I don't know, and then your water is purified. So you just get it from the stream, and there's a water source at every campsite, and there was literally like twigs and floaties in it, and it was the best water I've ever had. I'm not joking. Something that you need to know about the West Coast Trail is that on top of it being just so difficult, it's not flat. You can either go in the forest or you can go on the beach, and the beach route is always faster but harder because you're walking on sand with a big backpack, and it's just hard to like get traction and move forward. You know how sand is. You can also go back and forth, like in and out, and that's what we did, and I recommend that. But so the beach route is usually like this kind of, and then this is the water, and it's just like coming in, and you gotta, like, those waves are big. They will just come in and they won't like grab you, but I got soaked many times. At the same time, the forest route is usually more hilly, and it's not really like a trail, as it's more so just a network of routes that you're constantly climbing over, and mud puddles, mud ponds really, that you are navigating via logs that people have thrown on, logs and sticks. That's why you need gaiters to cover your boots. But what else? Someone also asked me if it's the type of trail where you should wear running shoes or get hiking boots. And I mean, if you're doing it like that guy and running it in one day, I don't know, but I'm assuming you would use running shoes. But if you're like walking it in the 5 to 7 days, do not wear running shoes. Wear hiking boots. You will break your ankle. So please wear hiking boots that protect your ankle. But on top of like the beach route and the hills and the roots and the mud, the bear and cougar scat everywhere is the ladders. Now the West Coast Trail is famous for the ladders. The ladders are like this or this, and they're really, a lot of them are really old and kind of falling apart. Like, they'll support you, but it is sketchy. There's the ladder day, people say, and this really scared me. I was so stressed for the ladder day, and rightfully so, because it was just all ladders. It was like this. It was just a bunch of switchbacks, but on ladders. So you would like go up 4, 5, 6 super tall ladders, and then step a few, and then go down 4, 5, 6 ladders, up, down, up, down. It was so hard. Like, I literally got a thigh gap on this trip because there was just so much climbing and ladders. But it was not as scary as I thought it was. Even though one of my hiking partners that I was with fell off the side. Luckily, she was like still hanging on, and it was one of the shorter ladders, but she just like, she slipped, and then her body like swung out like this, and just this side was holding on, and she had like her huge backpack on, so obviously that like pulls you back. But somehow, amazingly, she pulled some like Spider-Woman shit and got back on. But that was scary. You really do not want that happening on the larger ones. One morning, in order to beat the tides and get to this pretty cave area that I don't remember the name of, I'll insert a video though here. So in order to get there, we had to leave really early in the morning, like still dark out. I don't know what time that is in April or May, but like I'm gonna say 5 a.m. probably. So you're not supposed to be out at that time in that area because cougars hunt at dusk and dawn. So prime cougar time. We couldn't see the sun yet, and we couldn't see anything except what our headlights would like shine on briefly. And we were just like looking for eyes in the trees looking back at us. So that was really, really scary. And definitely if you have to wake up that early in the morning, if it's like dusk or dawn, do not do anything alone. Do everything with a buddy. Go to the washroom with a buddy. It was so scary. I was standing like literally right outside the washroom, and I was like holding my pocket knife to me while my partner went to the washroom, and it was just like looking around, shining my headlight everywhere. Then I went in the washroom and she did the same, and then we both walked back together. But yeah, so we set off hiking after like packing up our stuff really quickly, and yeah, we had to climb ladders and stuff in the pitch black dark. I will also insert a video of this here because it was just like so darn scary. Oh my god. But it was fun. It was adrenaline filled because I knew I was like safe realistically in the group of people sticking so close together. So yeah, that was the cougar morning, and we were like, we call it that because we were definitely being stalked by cougars. We just couldn't see them, but like definitely. So I'm not sure if it was the same day, but I think it was the next day. This was the Boulder day. It should be your second last day if you're going from north to south because it leads you to like the last camp spot. So, which is the shittiest, by the way. It's just so small and there's so many flies. But anyways, so this was the Boulder day. And it's called that because if you take the beach route, which I feel like is the only route you can take, but I'm not sure, it's just the whole thing is traversing like car-sized boulders. And I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but like I'm just pretty good at like boulder jumping, I guess, because where I was raised in Ontario, it was on the water, and we just had like 2 lines of boulders going out. They're called groins, but I think that's just like funny. And I just would hop all the time. Like that's just how I grew up. I got ahead from everyone, but I thought they were like just behind me. But then at one point I was like, okay, I don't know when the campsite is. And I had never figured out the map, so it's really good, even if you have a leader in your group, to know the map well yourself and the tide charts. So what happened was there was an impassable headway or headland ahead. So what that means is that it's a cliff, and then there's water, and then at low tide you can go through, you can walk on the sand. However, at high tide, if you're stuck there, you will drown and die. So you are not supposed to walk across those really at any point. And all the beach accesses, like to go back into the forest or to get onto the beach, are marked with buoys, but they can be really hard to see. So anyways, I didn't really know where the entrance was, and I didn't know where I was on the map, so it was so hard to find. So I like looked behind me to just like, you know, ask everyone and just wait for everyone, and I couldn't see them on the horizon, and the horizon went for like a long time. I didn't see anyone, like anyone. And this campsite that we were coming up to is known for its wolf population. Like they have a lot of wolves, and I was on the boulders, sure, on the beach, but the forest, like the deep dark forest, like impenetrable forest, was just like, I don't know, 15 feet away from me. Like it was right there. Any animal could be watching me from it and I wouldn't see them. And I was alone, like this small person on the boulders, literally no one around on either horizon. I couldn't see any tents, I couldn't see the beach access point, so I was just like, I didn't even know if I'd passed it. Like, maybe I did, and my group went up into the forest and assumed that I was up there already. So I was just freaking out. So, and I was so scared to pee, because you're not supposed to pee alone. Like, they're watching you, and then they will come out and attack you then when you squat down if you're a girl, which freaking sucks. So I kind of like hid behind a rock, more from animals than people, and I very quickly peed, like, oh my gosh. And then I just sat there and waited for everyone for probably an hour, definitely, maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then finally I saw someone on the horizon. I was like, thank God. And then we continued along, and I feel like I got ahead of him again, but it was okay because I knew he was right there, and I didn't get too far ahead, and then there was the campsite. So I went and set up, and just like, thank God. I have never been that afraid, except for the time that I got stuck in Bamfield in the forest at night, bear and cougar country. Like, it's literally the same area, like the trail starts in Bamfield. Yeah, I got stuck there alone at night in the woods. That was another trip. I'll tell you about that another day. A little bit before then, we were camping at a beach. So I just don't remember the name. We had just like put away our stuff for the night. And that's the thing, you're so tired when you get to your campsite. You can't really do anything. Like, we always just took off our backpacks, set up our stuff, like our tents, and then collapsed against the logs, and we would just sit around the fire for like ever, and then we'd go to bed like as soon as it got dark. So there are bear caches that you put your food into at every campsite, which is really nice. So you have the option of either hanging it in a tree, which I just find sketchy, or putting it in these bear caches, which are just bear-proof lockers, really. So we had put all our food in the bear cache, which is always like far away, obviously. We come back to our site, we went to bed in the tent, and we were just kind of like talking, and then we heard a crinkling inside the tent, and my tent partner like lifted up her jacket or something, and there was a Snickers in the tent. A Snickers. You can't even have toothpaste in the tent. You can't have hand sanitizer. Nothing scented, much less a Snickers, like a food item. Oh my gosh, we were both like, oh, we're gonna die. Like, there's no way we're going back to the food cache. We are so tired, it is so far away, and it's cougar time now. So no. So she just opened the tent door, and we're like, it's a pretty packed beach. Like, I don't think anything would happen, and if it did, we'd be probably saved pretty soon. So we just threw the wrapper out. We ate the Snickers really fast, and then we threw the wrapper out, and I think we were like, oh, it's probably pretty far away, but in the morning we realized it was like 5 feet away from our tent. So I don't know what happened that night. I wasn't woken up, and we honestly just fell into such deep sleeps every night because we were so tired. So who knows? I don't personally want to know what happened, but we're alive, so. Okay, and finally, this isn't like a story really, but it's just a general thing. Packing enough food, that's one thing that I'm definitely going to change for next time. I did not bring enough food, so the last 2 days I only had dried oats to eat, because I brought in a bunch of oats for like oats in the morning, but I also, because I didn't have a stove, I didn't want to bother people to boil water, I just had like overnight oats every day. But the last few days I didn't do that because it was just getting disgusting and I was not in the mood. They were always like goopy and just gross. Like, I didn't put any sugar in them. So I just ate the dried oats. It was literally all I had left to eat. I even, like, my tent partner left out some trail mix that she had. She was just like over it. It was just like gross stuff left and just kind of damp. And the crows were literally like picking at it through the bags. And I was like shooing away the crows to like eat the peanuts. It was so gross. And they had like melted Starburst on them. So yeah, bring enough food, word to the wise. Bring more food than less. And I would really recommend also, rather than getting those really expensive dehydrated meals that just like aren't really good from any like outdoorsy type store, because you'll definitely see them, just bring craft dinner. Just bring craft dinner, and then either a thermos or one dehydrated food package so you can have that one night, but then also use that bag to just cook the KD every other night. That's what I did, and it was perfect. My KD turned out like amazing every night. It's so creamy, and everyone was actually like jealous of my cheap KD because dehydrated food just isn't good. No matter how good they make it sound, it's not. So yeah, bring enough food. Also, there's one other thing I was thinking. What's that? What? Oh my gosh. Urban foraging. So you may have heard horror stories about people getting nasty blisters and losing toenails. And let me just tell you, it's true. My tent partner actually lost 2 toenails, I think, and everyone got nasty blisters except for me because I read about the perfect prevention tactic. So here's what you need. Probably the most essential item besides like food in general, warm clothes in a tent and everything, is duct tape. Yeah. Everyone was so skeptical of me to the point where I was like, did I read this online or did I just make it up? But you have to duct tape your feet in the morning. Blister prone areas. I will just show you that. So that is here, you know where you get blisters, so that's here along your heel, probably just this whole area. Here, the other side, right here on your toe. This is just this whole area, like all the way up here. And then the side of your pinky toe. Anywhere that you usually get blisters, like say if you're like ice skating, that's where you need to put duct tape. And then put your sock over that, and you won't get blisters. I promise, like, Girl Scouts honor. So those are just a few tips, tricks, stories of what happened, just a general follow-up of the West Coast Trail. I will definitely do another video after my second go around this spring. But yeah, it was such a great time. It was so horrible, but so great. So I really recommend doing it if you're thinking about it. But definitely train beforehand, okay? And go with buddies, because that is just not safe. It's not one of those trails you can do alone. I'm telling you right now to go for a walk. You will enjoy it. And now it's the thing, it's in your head. If you don't do it, you'll feel guilty, so you should just do it. Okay, have a good week.
Dream, feel like Billy cause I'm getting cream. Cash rules motherfucking everything. Me and you ain't the same, we in a different league. You a fool for even trying to compete with me.